Hey there, everyone. It's a good day, isn't it? I mean, unemployment is down. My Divinity Falling book by Norzikra is going to come in the mail today. We're finally getting a hint of a autumn breeze in October. That bear that's still running around loose in my neighborhood, it's still out there, but everything's good, except one little thing. Red Queen is an awful book. I mean, this thing, it has just curb stomped all my will of reading. It is so bad, yet hilarious. I have never met such a flat woman character in my whole life. Bella Swan is Hillary Clinton compared to this chick, okay? Mare Barrow. I really hate you. So I rate 5 stars. Each of those stars represents a certain thing I'm looking for. Writing style, character, plot, what I call the X factor, just like that little like a little uniqueness, something that grips me. The 5th star is rereadability, because that's really important to me. I'm not gonna ever reread this book series, so that star is gone. There is no wow factor. This is just like plain, oh, teenagers against the government thing, superpowers, love triangle, love rectangle actually, which I am not against love triangles or love rectangles as long as I like everybody in the party. No, not in this book. The plot, just a standard, let's take down the government thing. I've seen it 1,000 times. Writing style is fine, so you get that 1 star, but the characters, oh, this book just drops you into their little world and expects you to already love them for some reason. Everyone is poorly developed. I don't want to be with them. I don't care if they die. I hope they all die a fiery death, which I push them into a lake of fire. I want to be the one to kill them all. I don't like this book. And I'm mad. I'm mad at myself because I went and bought the whole series thinking I would love it. No. I made a boo-boo. And because I have a rule that Casey, being impetuous, impertinent, and impulsive, has to read every book I buy. So I'm stuck. I have to read this whole book series because I was stupid and didn't just buy or library rent the first book. No, I bought the whole series. Dang it.
Why, Casey? Why do you do this to me?
In this book, it has made me hate my favorite trope because it's executed so poorly. To be discussed in spoilers because it's a spoiler. But should there be a disclaimer in this video? No, because you should not read these books. If you guys saw my Death Bracket of Death book bracket gauntlet thing, you guys know I read the Grisha verse, Vicious and A Darker Shade of Magic, and now I'm reading Red Queen. I am here to say that Mare Barrow is the attempted mixture of Alina and what's her face? Lila. Yep, it's Lila. Because, we need a strong female character who's not going to be pushed around by all the boys. So what are we going to do? We're going to make her a thief. But we're also going to lock her up in a castle for a whole book and let her try on pretty gowns and stuff like that. Oh, and we're going to throw her in the midst of all these handsome men and they're just going to kiss each other all the time. Oh, but they're going to kiss, but are they actually in love? Do they, actually have chemistry? No. Red Queen is the story of an entire civilization divided by blood. The Silver Bloods are the hierarchy, the Red Bloods are the common masses, the servants, the basically slave labor, the ones that they put in their armies. Because they are at war with some other countries that, oh, are we giving good, world building about? No. They're basically cannon fodder. So, of course, there is a lot of discontent in the red communities, and most of them have to rely on thievery to stay alive, like Mare. But at the time they turn 18, they are forced into forced into the army, where they will probably die. One thing I did like about this book in the very beginning was that Mare, she has a family. She has 3 brothers, 1 sister, and a living mother and father. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of unique. Most of these YA characters, they're orphans, or they just have one parent, like every Disney character probably. But when we first meet them, just imagine a street, a dirty, dusty street, and you're just dropped into it. Everything's quiet for a moment, and then suddenly people are killing each other. It sounds awesome, but where am I? Help, tell me something. I didn't know the country we were in until halfway through the book. The world building's not that good, not good at all. So we got Mare being discontent with her lot in life. She tries to find a way to escape the country through this group called the Scarlet Guard, who are terrorists. The Scarlet Guard says, oh, $3,000, I'm guesstimating, and we'll carry you across the border or something like that. Well, these people are poor. Where are they going to get the money from? So she and Mare and her sister, what's her name? I'm gonna call her Samantha. Mayor and Samantha, they go into like the capital of the Red City to steal some jewels from where Samantha works. Everything goes poorly. This is a part that I like. This is a good part of the book because like people can die at any second. Like just because you are a named character and you are like common like enough to us to recognize you, you could like be axed off at any second. And like people, important people like do get killed or maimed. Like Samantha, bad accident happens, Mayor's like contrite with guilt, but through a chanced encounter, because Samantha, she was like their main income in their house, but the injury she got does not let her do what her job pertains. So a chance encounter with a certain individual named Cal, he gets her a job in the palace. She becomes a servant, which has like a pretty good like income. But through a little incident, behold, it is revealed that Mayor has silver powers. Because these silvers, they can control metal, some can control like fire, others called nymphs can control water. Got the elementals, you have some that can control like your body, your mind. Those are my favorite ones, but they're like severely misused in these books. So when Mayor tries to fight her way out of the palace because she is revealed to have these powers, oh, but she's a red blood, someone stop her. The royal family decides to masquerade her as a lost silver noble, and they're like, and we're going to betroth you to our youngest son, Maven. Oh, Maven. Maven is my favorite character, but he's also a big disappointment. So before I do dive into spoilers where I will eviscerate any main character, let's leave off with this. After that arranged marriage, do you want to read a book where they just try on dresses, train for like 3 paragraphs, and then suddenly she's the best fighter out there? No. Why would you want to read that? You're sensible. You'd want to read something better. Like Eldest. Best book in the world. Go read it. And again, Mayor is awful. Poorly written. She got shot at one point. Do you think she felt pain? No. And she has the most annoying head to be in, because she either thinks the most obvious thoughts or they are strangely poetic, and no human silver red-blooded being would think like that. Examples: Mayor is battling a magnetron, someone who controls metal, but she doesn't know this at first. She goes into the ring and they're like suiting up for each other. And this girl she's fighting, Evangeline, she makes like these metal shards fly up around her and knives, and they're like spinning around her in this cool like show of power. And then Mayor just cuts in, she's a magnetron, she controls metal. And I'm like, no kidding, she's making the metal fly. Stop it. She's like repeating what's happening just so we, the stupid readers, could get it. I am somewhat intelligent, book. I get it. I know what's happening. And this love triangle exists. And it is between Mayor, obviously, Maven, who she is betrothed to, youngest son of the king, and Cal, who was like a little stranger she bumped into at a bar after her sister got maimed, and he got her the job at the palace. Turns out he's the eldest prince, and he's going to be next in line for the throne. He's engaged to Evangeline. At first, it didn't seem like anyone liked each other, or at least they were friendly with each other, which I'm like, oh, this is nice, they're just friends. But then out of nowhere, we're kissing everyone. Like Cal and Mayor spend so much time apart from each other, besides like little tiny conversations in between passings, and then suddenly they're kissing. Why? And Mayor's like, this is what I've always wanted, you're what I wanted. And I'm like, you haven't thought about him in forever. You never think about him. You're just watching the events around you. I mean, you dropped me into this world, now you're just dropping me into a relationship. There is so much telling and not showing in this book. Like, we're told Mayor has feelings for Cal, but the one thing that I was especially like, about was you have 2 princes. One is Cal, he's the soldier. The other is Maven, he's like the shadow. But Mayor's of the opinion that Maven is made to lead because he's so confident, and we're told that he's just like exuding a presence, while Cal is just like a slash and whack kind of guy. Stick to the plan, dude. Not open for flexibility or change, especially for her red brethren. No. When we're first presented with Maven, he is a stuttering wreck. He is like a cowering mama's boy. No matter how many times you tell me he's a strong, worthy man of the throne, he's not. And the first time we see Cal in his royalness, he's giving a speech the same speech Maven was giving like a couple minutes ago, and he says it sure and fine. How is he not the one made for the throne? Book, you're trying to make me feel feelings for these people, and I just don't. And there's another thing. This will probably have to go in the spoiler section. So yeah, spoilers here, editor Casey. My two favorite characters in this book were Maven and his evil witch of a mother, because she had crazy awesome mind powers that she barely used. And I like Maven because he's my favorite trope, the betrayal, the hero who turns evil kind of guy. But it doesn't work because he's a small, simpering figure, and he just hides behind his mom all the time. He is a mama's boy. He is not a villain. I can't take him seriously, no matter how evilly he smiles, how evil his eyes are. I don't buy it. I don't want it. So shocker of all shocker, Maven betrays Mare because they were teaming up together to work for the Scarlet Guard to bring about a new era where Maven would be a righteous good king for both Silvers and Red. But no, he just wanted Mare to get in contact with the Scarlet Guards so then he could hunt them down later with his mama. So now, rightfully, Mare is mad at Maven, but Mare is mad at Cal for some reason. Some of the Scarlet Guard were captured midway in the book. They were tortured, and Mare's like, you should have stopped it. You will never be a king for the Reds. He's the most progressive king the whole line of royalty has had. He's integrating the armies with Red and Silvers for the first time in a century. He's the nicest person in this book. And Mare's like, he has betrayed me. He has tortured my friends. He did not torture them. His army guys did. And I mean, he is sovereign of a realm, and he has terrorists in his midst, and he wants information from them. So I don't care about these characters. So yeah, torture them for information. Let's progress the story, man. Mare is mad at Cal all the time, but she kisses him all the time. But she's loving him all the time too, and it's just too much that turns out to be so little. It was just boring pages of walking around a castle, talking in secret meetings that happen only every now and then. A book trying to force you into characters who are not fleshed out. Now, the last chapter before the prologue, epilogue, that was a nice chapter, except for oh yeah, I saw that saving grace coming, but I just wanted to rant. Please don't read it. Your time is worth so much more than what this $9 book can offer. But since I am an idiot and I've bought the whole series, I have condemned myself to read at least a chapter of the whole rest of the series a day, so I will finish it and I can just get it off my shelf and say, I'm done, no more. And who knows, I'm open to this series getting better, of course. It may, hopefully, because I'm going to be reading it for the next 4 months. Chapter a day, I can do it. But let me just plug in here the book I was loving way more than Red Queen that I was reading at the same time, okay? It's a little low-flying book called Lockdown, Escape from Furnace by Alexander Gordon Smith, I believe. I don't have it with me. I just finished it today, and it was awesome. The age range and the genre for this book are kind of weird, because on the cover it says a thriller by Alexander Gordon Smith, but a thriller to me is a contemporary with murder. No magical fictional elements. Well, yeah, fictional, but fantastical elements like demon guard dogs and scientific experiments that turn you into bulging monsters. That's not a thriller to me. That's just fiction. Goodreads also says this book is YA. I don't think so. I think it's more of a middle grade book, because it reads just like a Percy Jackson book, and it has some of the middle grade tropes I'm accustomed to, but then I'm also I don't think it's middle grade either, because a bunch of kids get shot in the head in the first 20 pages. Lockdown, Escape from Furnace, it is about, let's see, a world where no longer is murder of any age tolerated. If you're an 8-year-old and you killed someone, too bad, you're going to Furnace. The whole catchphrase of the Furnace penitentiary is beneath heaven is hell and beneath hell is furnace. Yeah, that describes it. It is a prison built under the earth, and it's for the baddest of the bad children. And a summary, simply put, is a boy named Alex who does some burglary in his spare time, not because he needs money, just because he enjoys the thrill. He gets framed for a murder, and he is sent into Furnace, where he will spend the rest of his days in a horrible dungeon of a place. Conditions are awful. You can get eaten or fried or torn apart shanked at any moment. The guards don't care anything about you. And the guards, there's a little something weird going on with the guards. They're big and hulking with silver eyes and just rictus smiles. There's these things called Weezers who walk around the cells at night just like huffing and puffing through gas masks. And if they catch you during the Blood Watch, you will never be seen again. Oh, what's the Blood Watch? I'm not going to tell you because that was my favorite scene in the book. And you should just go into it blind with eyes wide full of terror. And it is simply a nice book, simple to read, of a boy just trying to break out of prison. Short and sweet, terrifying, so much death. Like, seriously, these kids die in such gruesome ways. Like, at least 3 people got eaten alive. 3. Like, I gave it a 5. In middle grade, I rate middle grade much more loosely than I do YA or anything else, because middle grade is for children. So I let certain like plot holes or just conveniences slip because I'm just like, it's for entertainment really. So the only thing I really grade middle grade for is just writing style and was it entertaining. That's it. I don't need a gigantic character arc. It's always appreciated, but I just want to have a fun ride with middle grade. So yeah, this was a 5-star book for me. The only complaint I do have is that this is a book targeted for like boys and there are no girls in this book, so the toilet humor and the fart jokes are like every 15 pages. But other than that, it's fine. My library only had the first book, Lockdown, and I'm gonna go out and get all the other books. Book Outlet has them for like $3 each. I'ma do it. I remember like finding this book suggested to me on Goodreads a long time ago, and I've always been like really excited to read it because it reminded me of a Cartoon Network show that I loved to watch called Tower Prep. Do you remember that, or did I just fever dream that series? Because it only lasted 1 season and it ended on such a big cliffhanger. Like this book. Tower Prep is just about these kids living their normal lives and they get a bad headache, they go to sleep, they wake up and they're in this secluded prep school in the middle of nowhere called Tower Prep. Each of them suddenly has this new ability. Some can predict the future, some can like mimic people. And these kids, if they have not just accepted their lives into this weird institution, where if they get caught outside of their rooms or cells, like in Lockdown, these creepy creatures like in Lockdown, will come and snatch them in the middle of the night. And these kids are just trying to escape. Basically, they're the same plot. And they were both awesome. That was a good TV show. I need to find it on YouTube if it's somewhere out there. But anyways, thank you for listening. I'm gonna go home and pick out a new book to read. And don't be like me. Don't buy the whole series at once. This has been a PSA. Public service announcement. But I'm not gonna have to worry about y'all because you guys are smart, talented. You're the bright future in this brave new world. Auf Wiedersehen, my friends.